Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this dress. So you can make this dress in a shorter version, or you can even make it in a maxi version. But I'm going to be showing you guys how to make it in this video. It depends on you, the length you want to work with. But you're going to be needing, if it's a long version, you're going to need probably about 4 yards for the main body of the dress, and then for the parts that you're going to be attaching might be about 1.5 or 2 yards of fabric. So guys, basically what you're going to do, so we're starting with the bottom parts, right? Because this here, I've gone through the video several times. So you're just making like an A-line skirt, attaching it with a seam allowance at the center front, attaching it to a top that also has just a basic bodice, but it has seam allowance at the front. So this is how you're going to, so your fabric, you're just going to turn it this way. You see how I turned it now? So guys, you see I'm using the width of the fabric instead of, I'm going by the length of the fabric. So this way, because it's the longer version I'm trying to illustrate. If it was the shorter one, I would just use the normal length of the akara, how we normally use it. So you're going to go ahead and tilt it over like this. Tilt it over this way, and then you're going to come up to this top part side here, and then you're going to do your shoulder to your waist. So this is the dress. So guys, let's say this is the dress, right? You're going to measure from your shoulder to your ankle or to the floor, right? And then you're going to subtract from your shoulder to your half length, the waist, your shoulder to your half length. So let's say this is 16 or 17. You're going to subtract, let's say you got 56 here. So I'm going to subtract that 56 I got on this longer one from my shoulder to waist. So let's say I got 56, and then here is 16, minus 16. So I'm going to be left with 40. So 40 is going to be the length of the bottom part. Here to here will be 40, here to here will be 16, which gave me this 56. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, you see, I didn't move this to the end. I didn't move it to the end. I left some room, because when I go to trace the front, I still need some seam allowance. So that's why I did not use the whole width of this here. So I'm going to take my tape now, and then I'm going to go from this side, the end of the cloth. I'm not measuring my length from here. I need to measure it from this side, and then I'm going to measure 40 inches, but I'm going to add at least 2 inches of seam allowance to it, right? So that will be 42, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark that here. And then I'm going to rule a straight line across like this for that length, 42, right? And then after that, from this point now, I'm going to measure where 42 is again for me. And then I'm going to just keep measuring 42 all the way like this. This is going to be the length. It's just like an A line. Come up to your waist. Do my waist measurement divided by 4. So guys, let's say my waist divided by 4 is going to be 36. My waist is 36, right? Divided by 4 is 9. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 inch of seam allowance. This will not have any darts for the bottom, but it will have a dart at the top. So I've added my seam allowance. Let's say 1.5 for my seam allowance. All I have to do now is from this point, I'm going to blend this in to wherever my tape will relax. I'm just going to blend it in. But also make sure that from this point, come down 10 inches. Make sure that on this 10 inches line, your hip can definitely fit in with your seam allowance. If you check and it doesn't fit in, so let's say now I check this and my hip doesn't fit in, hip is going to take up a lot of space here. What you can also do is to come down on the hip line, divide your hip. Let's say my hip is 48, divided by 4 is going to be 12. Mark that here. So what I'm going to do is add extra my seam allowance, and then maybe add ease to it. So what you can do is just connect from this point to your hip, right? And then from your hip to the end of the dress, if that makes sense. So instead of connecting straight, a slim person can just get away with connecting it straight all the way to the end. But a bigger person, you might want to connect first to the hip, and then from the hip down to this point. And what you're going to need is your hip measurement divided by 4 plus, let's say, extra 3 inches. So that you can use 1 inch of seam allowance, 2 inches of ease. Because if you look at it, you know the dress is free. So once you do that, go ahead and cut from here, cut to this point, and cut this out. So guys, you see exactly what I have here. I've cut it out, but on a smaller version, because I'm going to be sewing it, but it's just that I'm going to be showing you guys on a smaller version. So you see, this is more like the waist of the skirt. It angles out and comes down this way on a fold, right? So once you cut out this first piece, you're going to fold your fabric again, just like that. Remember, this is the back of the skirt parts, right? So you're going to also go back in again, fold your fabric again, just like that, and then you're going to take this, place it on it, but you're going to leave at least 1 inch of zipper allowance. So you're going to make sure you have your zipper allowance by the center. That's why I said when you're folding this, don't fold it to the end, leave some room, because so that when you go back to fold it again, now this time around, you can make it touch the edge of your fabric. That way you create more room on the inside. That will now serve as your zipper allowance, you understand? So let me set this aside now. You're going to, so guys, once you place it, make sure you have the 1 inch of zipper allowance. Then we are going to go ahead and cut every other thing the same. So you're cutting the back, the front panel now, and you're going to make sure you have that 1 inch at the center. Every other thing, the corner, the top part, the end, is going to remain the same, except the 1 inch by the center part. So guys, you see, this is what it looks like once you cut it out. This is it, the sides, the top, and everything. You're going to take it this way, place it here. This is the back, and then one on this side, and then you're going to come down 2 inches from the waist, and then leave 6 inches open and close up the rest. So you're closing from the waist to 2 inches, leave at least 6 inches or 5 inches. This is for your pockets, right? And then you close up the rest. The same thing on this other side, right? Once that is done, we are going to go ahead and cut the top part. So guys, we are going to cut the top part. So guys, the top is just going to be the same way you cut the bottom. So you see, I have extra 1 inch. So this is going to be your back panel, and then your front panel will have extra 1 inch by the center, right? So you're going to place it on top. This fabric is on a fold. I placed it here, and then the second one is also on a fold. So what you're going to check is the shoulder to waist. Remember how we calculated the half length for me, and it was 16. So make sure you have 16 inches here plus extra 1 inch, half an inch for joining the shoulder, half an inch for joining the bottom part. And then you're going to go ahead and insert your shoulder measurement divided by 2. So whatever it is, let's say 8 inches, you're going to go ahead and mark that. Come down here by 1 inch of shoulder slope. Go ahead and insert your armhole. Your armhole length, how you're going to calculate it is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Whatever it is, go ahead and mark it. Connect it this way and then give it a curve. You see, we are cutting both the front and the back together, right? So after that, I'm going to come in here for my neckline. I'm going to mark 3 inches of neckline. You're going to come in here, mark your 3 inches. Guys, I'm marking this on a miniature version, but from what I'm saying, you understand how you're going to mark it on a bigger version. So you're going to mark your basic 3 inches of neckline here. Mark that. And then you're going to connect your shoulder slope from this point to this point. You can see I came down 1 inch. I connected my armhole length and connected the curve. So the next thing you're going to do is just to come in here, mark your bust divided by 4. Whatever that is, mark it. Add your 1.5 of seam allowance. Come down here to the waist. The same thing is what you're going to do. You're going to mark your waist measurement divided by 4. Like I said, the top is going to have a dart, but the skirt doesn't have a dart. So you're going to mark your waist measurement divided by 4. Whatever it is, mark it. And then you're going to add 2 inches here. So 1 inch of your darting, and then 1.5 inch of seam allowance. Guys, whatever seam allowance you used on the skirt is what you're going to use on the top. If not, you're going to make a mistake. So make sure that whatever the seam allowance is at the top is what you use for the bottom. So I'm sticking to 1.5. So that's why I also came up here. After adding my 1 inch of darting, I added 1.5 for seam allowance. There's no ease on the top. There's no ease because it's supposed to be fitted. And then you're going to connect it here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Cut it. So guys, after that, you're also going to go, so you cut out the armhole, cut out the excess here, cut out the shoulder slope. And once that is done, the next thing you're going to do is to separate it, because for the front, for the back, which is this one without, you're going to go ahead and do 1 inch of neck depth at the back. So you're going to come down from here 1 inch, connect it this way. cut it out. And then for the front, you're going to go ahead and do 3 inches. So you're going to go ahead and mark from this point down 3 inches. So let's say this is my 3 inches line. You're going to connect it all the way to the top here. And then you're going to go ahead and cut it out also. Now you're going to also go ahead and split open the front. You see, split it open. So now we have 2 panels for the front and 1 panel for the back, just like we have for the skirt also. And then you're also supposed to mark where your dart will be. So what you're going to do is so you're going to use this as to help you know where you're going to insert the dart. So from the center of this back panel, you're going to come in your nipple to nipple divided by 2. It might be 4, it might be 3.5. So wherever it is, you're going to go ahead and mark that. And then I'm going to notch it on all 4 layers, both the front and the back, so that I'll know where my dart is going to be. And then I can separate it again, knowing that my dart in front, because I have my bust in front, my dart in front is going to stop 1 inch below my nipple line. So if I measure from my shoulder to my nipple and is at 11, my dart is going to come up and stop at 12. So it's going to stop at my shoulder to 12 inches, somewhere there. So it might end somewhere here for me. My dart in front, half an inch on this side, half an inch on this side, connect it. Then my dart at the back is going to go from my shoulder to my chest line, which is most times the same line as where your armhole curve is. So my dart at the back is going to go up to this point. Another thing, the same thing, half an inch on this side, half an inch on this side, connect it all the way. Another thing I like to do for the back is that you're going to reduce the length. So you're going to come up here 1 inch from the center back. Remember, our back is on a fold. Come up here, and then you're going to blend it into the side. This will help it to relax better, and fabric will not bulk up on your back. So reduce it 1 inch and then blend it into the side. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. So you're going to cut off that 1 inch from the center back, because there's no bust at the back. So most times the back is not the same. Your shoulder to waist on your back is most times not the same as your shoulder to your waist in front, because the front has the bust, right? So now let's set everything aside. It may not be the same size at the moment, because remember, this hair is not, I didn't cut this with anybody's measurement, but just know that your back panel, once you finish cutting yours, you're supposed to use the same waist measurement and everything. So your back and your front will be the same. That's after you've taken away your 1 inch of darting. Everything will be the same. And then you're also going to take the front, add it, but you're going to remember to mark your dart, and then you're going to join it one side and then the other side too. So 2 panels in front, 2 panels at the back. Once you do this, we'll come back and add in our different color that will go down all the way in front. So guys, you see what it looks like at the moment. So this is the back. So let me open it so you guys should see. You see, this is the back panel. You've joined it here. Everything is aligned at this point. This is the front panel here, you see. But the front also has like 1 inch for our zipper allowance. So let me fold it back again. So now the next thing you're going to do is to get the fabric you're going to use to line the center part. So you might use on a bigger fabric, you would use like, let's say 4 inches, right, or 4.5. So you're going to take it, but you know this is a miniature version, so that's why I'm using this smudge. So what you're going to do is to take it and place it here. But how you're going to add it is, you're going to first of all take your ruler from the center. If it's 4 inches that you're going to, because remember you have 1 inch for zipper in here, right? So you're going to come in here by 4 inches and rule a straight line down all the way to the top. All the way, 4 inches is what you're going to do. Mark it all the way to the top. And then, so now you're going to also go ahead, like I said, you have 4 inches here, but you are going to have 4.5 inches of width on this one, so that you're going to use half an inch to tuck this in. So you're going to use half an inch here and sew it down all the way like this. When I say half an inch, I mean like half an inch to cover up, because you can't take this and sew it like this. The rough end will be showing. So that extra half an inch you added is just for you to take it and sew it on top of that line like this and go down straight all the way till you get to your neckline. You stop. Do the same thing on this other side. And guys, if you want, another way you can do it is just open it up like this. If you open it up like this, you sew it down and then turn it over. You use half an inch to join it to this and then turn it over and iron it. That way you will not have any stitch on top. But if you feel like you want to do it this way, just take it like this, sew it down. Do the same thing on the other side too. Take it this way, sew it down. Just make sure that the edge of this here gets to the edge here. And if you use exactly what I said, you have that. So what I'm saying is, go in, mark 4 inches distance from the end here going in, rule a straight line on that. Make sure that the width of what you have is 4.5, so that half an inch will be what you use to sew down on that straight line that you already marked up to the neckline. Once you do that, cut off the excess. Do the same thing on the other side. We're also going to go ahead and mark our sleeve. So this is what we're using for the sleeve. Is an exaggerated puffy sleeve. So basically, whatever your armhole divided by 2 is, you can go ahead and add, like, it depends on how puffy you want your sleeve to be. You can go ahead and do plus extra 8 inches as the width. That's on a fold. So let's say on a fold now, my armhole divided by 2 is 10. What I'm going to do is plus extra 8, so I'm going to have 18 inches here added to this. So this fabric will be wider, and that is on a fold. Like, even the way it's folded now, I'm going to have 18 inches. So if I calculate both this side and this side, it's going to be about 30 something, right? Not like, I'm not saying like before you even fold it. When after you folded it, make sure that what you have here will be your armhole divided by 2 and then plus extra more. And then also the same thing for the length. Wherever you want the length of this top to be, of this sleeve to be, you're going to also go ahead and add at least 6 inches to it, right? You're going to add extra 6 inches or 7 to it, so that you can use. First, how you're going to mark it is come up to the top part, mark these 2 inches you've marked now, or you can do 3 to be safe, right? Then you come down here, insert your cap height, which is normally 4 inches. This is a constant. Mark 4 inches down, and then the rest will be the body of your sleeve. So what you're going to do is, you're cutting 2 together. So you see, this is another fabric on a fold. So let me place the 2 of them together so you guys would see. So just like that, you've marked, this first seam allowance that you left here is for the exaggerated part on top. We've added extra for the side. Now I'm saying you added extra 8 inches or so for the side. Now for the top part, because you know puffy sleeve comes both in the length and it comes both on the side too. So what you add at the top, let's say you marked 3 inches, then you marked your cap height, which is constantly 4 inches. What you're going to do is to mark a straight line from this point to this point. Whatever you get halfway through that, then give it a curve like this, and then a curve below, a curve to the top part. So this is your exaggerated puffy sleeve. So you're just going to go ahead. So you see, this is my first line, this is my second line, and then the line I ruled is in between the first and the second. And then that straight line I ruled here, I found the center of it, gave it a curve below that, and then a curve above it, going all the way to the top now. So now what you're going to do is to cut this out. So guys, after that, you're going to, now that you've cut this out, you're going to, first of all, let me go ahead and notch it, right? Then the next thing I'm going to do is to come up here by like 5 inches. This is you can do 5, you can do 6, depending on the length of the sleeve, right? And then you're going to also take this fabric here. How you're going to join it this time is going to be from the inside like this. So you're going to take it, place it this way, sew half an inch on it like this, and then tilt it over to the front like this, and then also tuck in the edge here, like tuck in half an inch on this edge here also, and sew it down like this. Then this will now form like a band at the bottom part of this here. Why I said come up 5 inches is because this is where you're going to add your elastic. So like I said, come up 5 inches or so from the bottom part here, depending on the length of your sleeve. Rule that as a straight line. So 5 inches up, 5 inches up, 5 inches up. I rule the straight line across like that. Elastic like this, place it on my arm and figure out how much of it I'll need. So let's say I need somewhere here, right? Just enough, maybe it's going to stop somewhere here. You're going to take it and then you're going to cut it out. Find halfway through that elastic, right? Once you cut it out, halfway through it, mark it with chalk, and then halfway through your top, through your sleeve, mark it also. So this is the center of this line, half of it, and then place half of the elastic in between here, and then you're going to drag this one all the way to this point and sew it. You understand what I'm saying? So let's say whatever you have, just place this here like this, and then pull the elastic until it pulls the fabric together. And as you're pulling it, you're sewing at the center like this. You're just sewing on top of this elastic on your sewing machine. So you're going to put your sewing machine like this, and then you just pull this elastic and it's going to drag everything together, and that way you've made that ruffle at the end of your top. You understand? So now I'm going to go ahead and couple everything together and bring it back so you guys can see. So guys, this is it here. You see, this is the I've coupled everything together, and this is the back. I know, see what it's looking like right now. So I know you're wondering how you're going to add your zipper to this. So guys, the next thing you're supposed to do once you've coupled everything together, you see how this is open at the end here, you see? So what you have to do now is just to, because remember we have half an inch here going into the zipper allowance. On your own it will be wider because you used up to 4 inches here, but mine is a miniature version, right? So this here, you're going to tuck this in for like half an inch of sewing this in. But in the meantime, you've also lined the neckline with bias, and then you're going to take your zipper, place it this way, facing down. You see the part that attach is at the top here. You're going to just take one side here, sew it down, and then take the other side of the zipper here and then sew it down. And that's basically how you're going to do it. So you see, this is a miniature version. That's why it's looking like the zip is longer than the dress. So that's basically how you do it. And don't forget your pocket. Like I said, as you're coming down, once you enter the skirt part, skip at least 2 inches from the waist, and then leave 6 to 5 inches opening, and then complete your seam. That will be for your pocket. And that's basically how you make this dress. I hope that explains it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.